Have you ever faced a crossroads so daunting that a choice could change your entire life? Imagine being rejected by society, friends, even family because of your faith. And yet, through it all, you find a love so profound, so eternal, that it becomes the anchor of your life. This is the story of Elizabeth Ann Seton, America's first saint, a woman of extraordinary faith, courage, and resilience. Stay with me because her journey will inspire your soul.
Saint Stories.
Elizabeth was born into privilege in New York City on August 28, 1774. Her father, Dr. Richard Bailey, was a prominent physician and professor, a man admired for his intellect and humanitarian spirit. Yet, despite his status, tragedy struck early in Elizabeth's life. Her mother, Catherine, died when Elizabeth was just 3 years old. Raised in a wealthy Episcopalian family, Elizabeth was steeped in prayer, scripture, and self-reflection. But her father, though deeply compassionate, had little regard for organized religion. He taught her to serve others, not from faith, but from duty. At 19, Elizabeth, the belle of New York society, married the love of her life, William Seton, a dashing and wealthy businessman. Life seemed perfect. They were New York's golden couple, raising 5 children in the lap of luxury. But life's fortunes are fleeting. When William's father died, the family business fell into bankruptcy. The stress took its toll on William, who developed tuberculosis. Desperate to save him, Elizabeth traveled with him to Italy, hoping the warm climate would restore his health. It was in Italy, surrounded by Catholic friends, that Elizabeth's heart began to stir. She watched with awe as her friends lived their faith with a profound devotion. She was especially captivated by the Eucharist, the idea that Jesus Christ was truly present, body and blood, soul and divinity. Grief struck again when William died, leaving Elizabeth a widow at just 30 years old. Alone in a foreign land with 5 young children, she turned to God for strength. Drawn to the Blessed Virgin Mary, Elizabeth saw her as the mother she had lost so young. But her heart was torn. Could she abandon her Episcopalian roots for the Catholic Church? The decision was not easy. Conversion meant social rejection, financial hardship, and isolation. And yet, in March 1805, Elizabeth embraced Catholicism, choosing Mary as a confirmation name to honor the woman who had guided her to Jesus. Elizabeth's newfound faith came at a high cost. She opened a boarding house for boys to support her children, but anti-Catholic prejudice forced parents to withdraw their sons. Facing ruin, she moved to Baltimore at the invitation of a kind priest. There, she opened a school for girls, marking the beginning of her life's work, Catholic education. With divine guidance, Elizabeth discerned a deeper calling. Her school evolved into a convent, and in 1809, she founded the Sisters of Charity, the first American religious community. Together, they established schools, orphanages, and the foundation of the U.S. parochial school system. Elizabeth was no stranger to suffering. 2 of her daughters died of tuberculosis, the same disease that had claimed her husband. One of her sons strayed far from faith, breaking her heart. Yet she never wavered in her trust in God. On January 4, 1821, at just 46 years old, Elizabeth died of tuberculosis. Her feast day honors the day of her passing, a testament of her holy surrender to God's will. Elizabeth's sanctity was recognized by the Church through miracles. Sister Gertrude Korsendorfer was cured of pancreatic cancer, and 4-year-old Anne Teresa O'Neill was healed of leukemia after prayers to Elizabeth. A piece of her bone placed on Carl Kenny led to his miraculous recovery. In 1975, Elizabeth Ann Seton became the first native-born American saint canonized by Pope Paul VI. Elizabeth's legacy lives on. She is the patron saint of Catholic schools, educators, widows, orphans, and those rejected for their faith, because she lived each one of these roles with grace and courage. She reminds us that holiness isn't just about mystical visions or miracles. It's about loving God, trusting His will, and serving others with all your heart. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by life's trials, remember St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. She shows us that even in the darkest moments, faith can light the way. Thank you for listening to Elizabeth Ann Seton's story. Comment down below for the next saint that you want to hear about. See you in the next one. Bye bye.